Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, Chief Moore. Having nostalgic feelings for our meetings over the last 16 years, and I'm very pleased to welcome you as the Chief of the Forest Service here today. A lot has happened in those 16 years, and it's heartbreaking. I'm sure you've had the same experience in my drives through the Sierra Nevada, whether it's to Yosemite or Lake Tahoe, Sequoia Kings Canyon, drives up to the Oregon border of beautiful forests that we used to take for granted are now simply gone. They've been reduced to scrub brush and dead tree trunks as far as the eye can see. I asked my staff to look into that, because is this an optical illusion, or what did the statistics say? And their estimate is that about 25% of our national forests have burned down in the last 10 years. Does that comport with your general figures?
Yeah, I don't have the specific number, but I wouldn't argue with that number, Congressman. A lot has burned.
A quarter of our national forests gone, simply gone. Now, I'm sure they'll grow back in a century or two, but they're gone for all of us for the rest of our lifetimes and for our children's lifetimes. The Forest Service was supposed to protect our forests, and for generations they did. And getting to Mr. Lamborn's point, I asked our staff to chart the board feet harvested out of the federal forests and the acreage burned in our federal forests. These, and this goes back to 1962 to 2022. You see the blue bars here? That's board feet harvested out of the national forests. The orange bars, that's acreage burned. And there's nothing subtle about this trend. It's dramatic, and you're right, it may vary from year to year. But you take a look at what has happened as the federal timber harvest has dropped precipitously, acreage burned has grown precipitously, and we agree that about a quarter of those forests have now been destroyed by these policies. You and I both know that excess timber is going to come out of that forest in only one of two ways. Either we're going to carry it out or it's going to burn out. What do these charts tell you?
Well, they don't tell me anything different than what they're telling you. I mean, I don't think it's a big secret. We're not managing to the degree that our forest needs. We also don't have...
And why aren't we? Because this is one of the great ironies. You look at the private landowners. In California, about half of the forests are privately owned. They're kept in excellent condition, and the landowners make a lot of money doing that. The federal forests are absolutely decrepit. Again, one quarter of them destroyed. And yet we lose money. What's the difference?
So the difference, and you may or may not care to hear this, but the difference, we don't have the resources to manage the forest to the degree that they need to be managed.
Well, we used to, and we used to do it for a lot less. We used to make money harvesting this excess timber out of the forest. Now it costs us money, not because of a lack of resources, but because the laws that have been adopted in the 1970s make it cost prohibitive for us to continue those sound forest management practices, so not a lot gets done. And until you can acknowledge that, we're going to continue to have these discussions and these disagreements, and we're going to continue to watch our federal forests die out and be burned out. I do want to compliment you on your administration of the Wind Act of 2016 that got a categorical exclusion from NEPA for forest thinning projects under 10,000 acres. That was administered in the Tahoe Basin under your leadership, and I believe that was exemplary. I've been trying to get legislation to the floor that will extend those policies nationally. Would that help or hurt the cause of the forests?
Yeah, you know, Congressman McClintock, you and I go back quite a ways, and one of the benefits that we have gotten from some of your legislation was the 5,000 acre CE while they're on the Tahoe area. And that was very beneficial in actually creating and supporting an industry that was nearby. So there are opportunities.
I think it actually saved the city of South Lake Tahoe from the Caldor fire. It hit a treated tract under that authority. The fire lay down, and firefighters were able to put it out. But I'm having a hell of a time getting that onto the House floor. for a vote, despite the fact it came out of this committee with a somewhat bipartisan vote. And with your experience with these policies, I would hope that we can get that into law, but we've got to overcome a problem here in this House. But thank you for being here today. Thank you for your work all these years.